Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shifty's 49ers Talk. In this video, we're going to break down and talk about my thoughts on the 49ers' big win over the LA Rams, 31-14. The Niners on the season now move to 4-4. We head into the bye week with a bunch of momentum. We'll be getting a ton of players back from injury. There's a lot to talk about in this game, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in. And just before we recap the game and break it down, and I'll give my thoughts on the studs of the game, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who attended today's stream. It was really successful. So much engagement, interaction, really means a lot. Thank you to everyone. We hit over 100 likes on this stream. We also had a bunch of new subscribers, so thank you to all the subscribers, new and old. It really helps out the channel. But let's now get into the recap of the game. So the first half, and it was really a tale of two halves in this game, really, because here's the thing. When you look at the first half, the Rams, and it was a low possessions because the Rams had two long sustained drives for touchdowns. Rams put up 14 points in the first half. They did by far all their damage really in the first half. When you look at the 49ers in the first half, it was somewhat a game of playing catch up. Now to start this, in the start of the second quarter, McCaffrey, and we're going to talk about him a little later, had that awesome throw to Brandon Aiyuk. Great route by Aiyuk, great play call by Shanahan, great throw by McCaffrey. And then towards the end of the half, the Niners had to settle for three. 14-10, we go into halftime. Now in the second half, on the Niners' second possession in the second half, we were able to get a long sustained drive and put up points, and that was a great play in the third quarter. Jimmy Garoppolo finds Christian McCaffrey. It was a third and pretty long, if I remember correctly, and Garoppolo stands tough, stands tall in the pocket, delivers a beautiful ball. McCaffrey makes a great catch, defenders all around him, gets 2 feet inbounds, secures possession. Niners take the lead, and they would not relinquish that for the rest of the game. The Niners defense really stood up in the second half of this game. If we look at the Rams offense overall in this game, they had 223 yards in the entire game, which is not great. Look at the second half. The Rams only had 43 yards in the second half. They had 180 yards in the first half, only 43 yards in the second half. Amazing job by the defense and amazing adjustments by DeMeco Ryans. And from there, the Niners were getting stop after stop after stop. One of them was greatly helped out by Tyler Higbee, who had an awful drop. It was 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2. Stafford finds him wide open. Amazing play call by Sean McVay, by the way, to get Higbee wide open. He just flat out drops it. And that gave the ball back to the 49ers. And the offense then got into a really nice rhythm. So the Niners were then able to put up another 14 points, for the rest of the game. And we would just basically coast our way all the way down to a big time win over the LA Rams. As we said, the Niners now move to 4-4 on the season. We head into our bye week, but just as importantly, we're now 3-0 in our division games, and with a very tightly contested division this season, those tiebreakers are going to be massive as we get towards the end of the year. But coming right up next, we're going to talk about some of the star players, the big performances, and some of the keys to getting the Niners their 4th win on the season. When we look at this game, the absolute star player, of course, is going to be Christian McCaffrey. He did it all. The trifecta. 3 touchdowns. Let me see. How did he do that? Well, he had a passing touchdown to Brandon Aiyuk for 34 yards. He had a reception from Garoppolo in the great catch that we talked about earlier in this video. And then he also rushed for a touchdown. So he had the trifecta, something that you rarely ever see in the NFL. The last time a running back was able to throw, catch, and run for a touchdown was back in 2005 by LaDainian Tomlinson. Overall, if you look at McCaffrey, even outside of that run, he had about 150 yards between rushing and receiving, able to really make plays happen. And I think it's really justifying the trade for Christian McCaffrey, because having a really competent running back, and Jeff Wilson Jr. today, but he had a very nice game himself, couple of really nice runs and a couple of nice receptions too. But when you have a guy at the level of a Christian McCaffrey, you can just see what this offense can eventually become. And of course, I'm really excited for the future with Christian McCaffrey in this offense with Trey Lance. It's going to be great. But overall, the game ball has to go to a guy like Christian McCaffrey. Now, let's also talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. One really awful pass today. Threw it, Jalen Ramsey should have intercepted it. Beyond that, a very, very good game from Jimmy G. Overall, stood tall in the pocket even after taking a few sacks, but really delivered a bunch of nice passes. Probably his nicest pass of the day, you could argue, is either to Christian McCaffrey for the touchdown. I think the one to George Kittle was even more impressive because he had to get it over Taylor Rapp. He was also kind of moving to his left. Bam, perfect throw. Also, big time throw to Ross Dwelley. Love the play call because a lot of emphasis went to Brandon Ayuk. Dwelley just ran basically a go route and he was wide open. 51-yard reception. But Jimmy G, look at the numbers for today. 235 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 84% completion rate. The highest completion rate with that many passes since Steve Young. We're talking 25 years ago. And Jimmy G, outside of the one pass to Jalen Ramsey, very, very good game. Talking about clean games in general, no turnovers by either team in this game. And something that I like to look at too a lot when it comes to talking about a clean game are the penalties. 49ers, only 3 penalties for 8 yards. The Rams, 4 penalties for 50 yards. And they came at some crucial moments, which really helped the 49ers come away with the win here. So overall, and some of those penalties that the 49ers had, they were basically, it was goal to go for the Rams, and that ultimately set up their first touchdown. It was a running touchdown by Stafford. Very nice play by Stafford. Credit, where credit's due. But the Niners, other than that, they didn't give up a ton of yards by penalties, and that's a huge positive thing moving forward. Now, some of the other star players, let's keep looking at the offense for a moment. So I thought Aaron Banks, left guard, phenomenal performance. He was pushing guys around, did a good job for the most part on Aaron Donald all day long. Really, he's maybe one of the most impressive players and the most improved players on this team. Now, looking at Spencer Burford at right guard, he had that one play, and it was actually a really crucial, it was a third down play where he was definitely late coming off the snap. Aaron Donald got right into the backfield and basically screwed up the whole play. But overall, besides that, I thought the offensive line was pretty good. It wasn't, amazing by any means, but we did give Jimmy enough time. I think a great example of that is on the touchdown pass to Christian McCaffrey. Jimmy was back there for a while, able to stand in the pocket, deliver the pass, great touchdown reception there. But let's shout out Aaron Banks' great performance today. When we look now at the 49ers defense, and it really was a tale of two halves for the defense. The defense in the first half, seemingly unable to get stops. The Rams had 2 really long drives that both ended in touchdowns in the first half, which chewed up a bunch of the clock. But let's look at the second half. Only 43 yards given up in the second half. No scores, shut them out in the second half. That's massive, being able to make those adjustments. DeMeco Ryans, really impressive work there. Now, who were some of the players that really stood out on defense? Nick Bosa, solid game, wasn't spectacular. He was able to eventually get a sack on Matthew Stafford. Fred Warner, really nice game today, actually. He also had a sack in a crucial moment. It was third down for the Rams, and we basically were able to sack him. And then, bam, the Rams have to punt the ball. We get the ball back, and I believe we put up some points on the next drive. Fred Warner almost came up with an interception, too, when they were targeting Allen Robinson. Overall, the defense was it was a great overall defensive performance. No one really stood out with massive splash plays. I thought that Charvarius Ward ultimately had very good coverage throughout the day. Tashawn Gibson got beat once or twice. Jimmy Ward was pretty good today as well. But overall, I just think it was a team effort on defense, and really just being able to make those second half adjustments was awesome to see the team really come together. And we should be getting some key players back on defense after the bye week. So to me, game ball, no surprise here. It's absolutely going to go to Christian McCaffrey. 3 touchdowns, all in different ways. Super impressive performance. And this is just a taste of what we're going to see with Christian McCaffrey in this offense moving forward. Now, from this game here, well, really, what does it mean? The Rams now move to 3-4. The Cardinals are now 3-5. So the 49ers at 4-4, the Seahawks at 5-3, really, starting to maybe make a little bit of separation here. especially when you consider the fact that the 49ers are 3-0 in the division. So essentially at this point, any tiebreakers in the NFC West are going to go the 49ers' way. Now, moving forward with the 49ers into the bye week, what can we improve on? Basically, I want to see a whole lot more of this, but I think something that's going to be really big for the team is really just getting healthy. And that's why it's so good to have the bye week, not too early in the season, but also not too late in the season. Basically, having it in the middle of the season. You know, some guys, and we've been hurt as much as any team in the NFL, but getting a lot of guys back is going to be massive. Deebo Samuel should be good to go after the bye week. Kyle Juszczyk is supposed to be able to go after the bye week. Elijah Mitchell coming back as well. Defensively, Jason Verrett, he was activated earlier this week, didn't play today, inactive for the game today, but activated to the active roster, and then he should be ready to go after the bye week as well. And there's a lot of guys, Eric Armstead, and I think that's going to be potentially the biggest one because we are really lacking that presence in the middle of the defensive line. But I do also want to give a little bit of a shout out to the 49ers defensive line in terms of the interior guys. Look, they've been getting criticized heavily the last few weeks, and I think rightfully so. But guys like Hassan Ridgeway, Kevin Givens, Akeem Spence, they really limited the Rams to what they could do running the football. So shout out to them for really stepping up their game in a big division battle. Overall, really happy with the results so far today, and I hope you guys were happy too. And again, before we end off the video, I want to say a few things. Again, thank you so much to everyone for being there at the stream. Again, it was just so much fun interacting with all you guys throughout the entire game. It was a really fun game to watch, and do leave your thoughts in the comments below. I do read every comment and I try to respond to every single one. Other things too, there's going to be some videos coming out this week as well. So I'm going to be doing my basically mid-season awards for the 49ers. Some of the categories for this video is going to be the best rookie so far, the most improved player, the best and worst free agent acquisitions, just to give you a taste of what's coming up in that video. But at this point, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Again, thank you all so much for the huge support on the channel. I'm actually going to say 3 things today. The first one, the same old sorry Rams. Second one is the butt counts. And then the third one, you guys all know what it is. I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side.